Welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Jewell, and on today's video, we're going to take a look at Fort Loudoun Lake. All right, let's get to it. So to begin with, let's first get a real quick overview of the lakes here in Knoxville. All of our lakes, including Fort Loudoun, that are on the Tennessee River are actually dammed up bodies of water that were created. Fort Loudoun Lake was created back in 1940 as part of TVA's efforts to improve the region's economic stability through flood control and hydroelectric power. And it provides a flood storage capacity of about 111,000 acres per feet. TVA continues to manage this reservoir, which plays a crucial role in regional navigation. This lake is also sizable. It was formed by damming the Tennessee River at Loudoun, and today this lake spans 14,600 acres, 379 miles of shoreline. I say a lot about TVA, that's Tennessee Valley Authority. And Tennessee Valley Authority is the federal entity that creates the dams, obviously has the dams, creates the electricity in our area, which is very beneficial to us, but they're also really good at other things, such as flood controls. If you live on a lake, you're not going to need flood insurance. There is elevation line that TVA technically owns below. You're not allowed to build below that. And so if you build above that, it's very rare that you're going to need flood insurance. So next, let's look at the recreational opportunities and things, amenities that having this body of water here offers to those who live here. So I'm going to go through a list real quickly of the things that you can do on the water, such as, obviously, you can boat. We have boat clubs here. You can also rent boats in the area. It's also a big area for fishing. You can do that by boat. You can do that from the shore. You can do that from some of our fishing piers that we have around. One of the bigger things that we're starting to see in our area now is a tremendous amount of stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, canoeing, those types of activities. One of the great things, and y'all have heard me say this in so many videos, is that Knoxville has just so many parks. I mean, as I said, I think it's 145 that the city, county, Farragut, all of them together manage just inside of Knox County, which is a substantial amount. The cool thing is there's a lot of those that are on the water. We are at Concord Park today. We've talked about that. You've seen a lot of videos that we've done from Lakeshore Park, which is also on the water. This park here is on the water with swimming areas and those types of things. You've got Carl Cohen Park, which is a very small park. It's got a little disc golf course with it. But the cool thing is, it is on the water. If you go down there on almost any day in the summer, you're going to see people swimming. But then if you're a local, you know where to go, you know where the trails are, and that park runs for a long way up and down Fort Loudoun Lake. So there's a lot of paths you can walk down, go to, places you can picnic on the water, kind of set up your own little camp, go swimming for the day or whatever. Admiral Farragut Park's on the water down here in West Knoxville. There's just so many different parks that you can visit. To me, the best thing about Fort Loudoun Lake is that it does run all the way from Fort Loudoun Dam all the way up to downtown Knoxville. Well, let's talk about the real estate that's around Fort Loudoun Lake. So I don't want anybody to have any misconceptions. There is no such thing as inexpensive or cheap property around Fort Loudoun Lake that's actually on the water. It just does not exist anymore, hasn't for years. We're only seeing it become more popular and more pricey. But there is some differences in the property values that you're going to see depending on what side of the Tennessee River and the lake you're on. If you're on the southwest side or the south side of the river, more toward Louisville, because it's so much harder to drive from that side of the lake to get to the amenities of West Knoxville and downtown, you're going to see property values that are actually less than you're going to find over here on the north side of the lake, the side that West Knoxville's on, Farragut's on, Concord Park's on, because from right here, I'm 15 minutes, 20 minutes from everything that we talked about in these videos in West Knoxville. I'm about 25 to 30 minutes out of downtown. If I just go right across this body of water, you had to go to a bridge to get across. If you look at Google Maps, you're going to see that's not easy to do. So you do get a little more value if you're someone who's a stay-at-home person, kind of a homebody. It's not that big a deal to you because you're not driving out to these amenities a lot of times and you're not going to work every day. That's a side of the lake you get more value in. Now, just so you know, any property you look at that's not going to need a complete renovation is going to be at least $1 million on this waterway. There are some smaller cabins. They just don't hardly ever come up for sale. And this is smaller properties So if you're looking to say, I'd love to be on the water, but I only have $650,000, there's a lot of us love to be on the water for $650,000. It's just not going to happen. But I also want to say this about the real estate around this lake. If you want to be around the water, there's so many places that you can live, not be on the water, find much more affordable prices and have easy access to all this water amenities because of our public access that we talked about earlier. You don't have to live on the water to enjoy it daily. So lastly, I want to look at environmental conservation and the environmental concerns surrounding any body of water. So Fort Loudoun Lake is basically a clean lake. A lot of people who fish here will eat the fish that they catch. We swim in a lot, and TVA has a lot to do with that. They have a lot of conservation efforts, have a lot of regulations and stuff around the lake to make sure that it stays as clean as possible and still be a federal waterway and give all the access that we do. There's also a lot of conservation groups around here, and so the public plays a big part of that, volunteer organizations, something you may want to be involved in when you get here. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, we'd love a thumbs up, comments, we love those as well below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so you'll know when we release our videos every week. Till next time, guys, can't wait to see you around Knoxville soon.